5 to require a field. You can require specific form fields so that your user will not be able to submit your form until he or she has filled them out. For example, if you wanted to make a text input field required, you can just add the attribute required within your input element like this. So input type equals text, and then it would be required. Make your text input a required field. Text input. Right, and then no, put that last actually. Alright. So required, just type in required right at the end. Make your text input a required field so that your user can submit the form without completing this field. Then try to submit the form without inputting any text. It's still going to work because right, moving on. Right, so create a set of radio buttons. You can use radio buttons for questions where you want the user to only give one answer on multiple options. Radio buttons are a type of input. Each of your radio buttons can be nested within its own label element. By wrapping an input element inside of a label element, it will automatically associate the radio button with input with the label element surrounding it. All related radio buttons should have the same name attribute to create a radio button group. By creating a radio group, selecting any single radio button will automatically deselect the other buttons within the same group, ensuring only one answer is provided by the user. Here's an example of a radio button. So you've got a label with an open tag, a label with a closing tag, input type equals radio, and name equals indoor, outdoor, and the text is indoor. So it's considered best practice to set a for attribute for the label element with a value that matches the value of the ID attribute of the input element. This allows assistive technology to create a linked relationship between the label and the related input element. For example, input ID equals indoor, type equals radio, name equals indoor and outdoor, label for equals indoor, and the label will say indoor. We can also nest the input element within the label tags. Label for equals indoor and input ID equals indoor, type radio, and name equals indoor or outdoor. So add a pair of radio buttons to your form, each nesting with its own label element. One should have the option of indoor and the other should have the option of outdoor. Both should share the same name attribute in indoor and outdoor to create a radio group. Right, so we need two labels, isn't that right? Label. So we need a label tag and a closing label tag. And then within the label tag, so for indoor, for equals indoor, for equals inverted comma, spell it right, indoor. So input type equals indoor again, no, inverted commas indoor, indoor, indoor. So type equals radio, and name equals indoor.